Hi, I'm Mark Smith, a pastor in training at Glenvale Church of God. I'd like to offer you a moment of encouragement. In the Bible, there's a story told of a young man named Joseph. Now, Joseph had many brothers who hated him. And to make matters worse, Joseph had two dreams in which he saw his brothers bowing down to him. And he told them about these dreams, and for that they hated him all the more and became jealous of him. Now, one day, while they were out in the fields far away from home, they saw an opportunity to take Joseph and throw him into a pit and kill him. Now they threw him into the pit, but they did change their minds about killing him and instead sold him to Ishmaelites. These Ishmaelites took Joseph down to Egypt and sold him into slavery, where he served as a slave in one of Pharaoh's officials' households. Now the Lord was with Joseph there and caused him to prosper, but this official's wife falsely accused Joseph and had him thrown into prison. But in prison, the Lord was also with Joseph and caused him to prosper there as well, until eventually Joseph became second in command of all Egypt. Now, the Bible reveals to us that this happened because there was going to be a 7-year famine in all the surrounding lands, in Egypt and the surrounding lands. And God put Joseph in this position for a reason. He put Joseph there so that Joseph could stockpile food before the famine so that people wouldn't be hungry and die. So God revealed to Joseph in a dream that the famine was coming and that he needed to store food. And that's what happened. Pharaoh listened to Joseph and stockpiled food so that when the 7-year famine came, they had plenty and people weren't starving and they weren't dying. And at the end of this story, whenever Joseph and his brothers are reconciled, Joseph says to them, "What you intended for evil, God intended for good." So without Joseph's brothers throwing him into the pit, selling him to the Ishmaelites, without the Ishmaelites selling him into slavery, without Potiphar's wife, that's the official's name, Potiphar's wife falsely accusing him and having him thrown into prison, without all of this, so many thousands of people would have died, all because Joseph wouldn't have been in Egypt and he wouldn't have become second in command. But God was able to work good through the evil of Joseph's brothers, through the evil of Potiphar's wife. He was able to work good through these horrible, evil things that were happening. Now, the main message of this moment of encouragement is that nothing is so bad that God cannot work good through it. Nothing is so bad that our God cannot work good through it. Romans 8:28 reads, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." So if we love God, if we're lovers of God, he is working good for us all the time. He is even working through the coronavirus pandemic right now. We might not see the good that he's working. We might not see it now, and we may never see it. I can't imagine that Joseph could have possibly knew in any way what good God was working through him being a slave and through him being a prisoner. There's no way Joseph would have thought, wow, God's going to through me save thousands of people. He wouldn't have thought that while he's serving as a slave, while he's serving as a prisoner, while he's down in a pit knowing that the majority of his family hates him. He would have never thought these things. But it occurred, it took place that God worked a miracle through all this evil going on. God is able to work good through anything bad in our lives. Now, many of us, we have problems more than just the coronavirus going on. We had problems before it was happening, while it's going on now, and we'll probably still have some of them, at least some of them, after the virus is over. And God hasn't forgotten about these. And there is one good thing. There is something that we can focus on, that we can see that God is doing, that we can see that he is doing good. And that is in us. Through trials, God is working good in us. He's molding our character. He's shaping us. He's producing in us perseverance. And he's making us more and more like his son, Jesus Christ. That is God's goal for us. to make us as much like his Son as he can. And that is what we should focus on that good that he's doing. We might not see any other good, but we can know that he's shaping us, that he's forming us into the people that he wants us to be. So I encourage you to just keep our eyes on God and to realize the good that he is doing in us, the perseverance that he's shaping in us, and how he's making us more like his Son Jesus. And let's focus on that and focus on that good, and also know that God is doing so much good that we can't even see. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.